Okay, so here's the first thing that I have heard. Because clearly, if you are a teacher working in education, especially in the inner city, you are just there to collect a check, of course.
Of course, because that's where the money's at.
Welcome back to the Tea Lounge, where we are spilling the tea on urban education.
Serving it from a teacher's perspective.
What are we talking about today?
Oh man, today we're going to be talking about gossip. We're going to be spilling more tea on the 5 common myths of teachers in urban education. What they be saying about us, Fuller?
Okay, so here's the first thing that I have heard. Because clearly, if you are a teacher working in education, especially in the inner city, you are just there to collect a check, of course.
Of course, because that's where the money's at. People don't do the stock market. People go into urban teaching.
Why wouldn't you do that? I mean, because it's not like you like kids.
No.
You hate your job.
Right.
You're lazy.
Duh.
So you're just there to collect a check.
And you just wanted a cute job. You can talk about when you go to happy hour. Oh, I'm an elementary school teacher. I'm a first grade teacher, kindergarten teacher. Like, it's an easy job. It's cute.
These little badass kids, they get on my nerves. But I get paid every 2 weeks.
That's right. I get about, 6 months of vacation time?
Regardless if you learn or not.
That's right. My check comes in anyways. And I clock in at 8 and I'm out by 3 o'clock.
And that would be wrong. As we all know.
So let's debunk this myth. What's the truth, Fuller? What's really going on? In your experience, what have you really seen people do? How are we living? How are we working out here?
If I just go through a typical day, so as a teacher, I need to be to work at 8 o'clock. I am usually there by 7:30 just so I can get myself together because I hate to rush. So usually I'm making my copies actually the night before or days before, but if I do need to make a quick copy or something, I'm doing whatever I need to do in order to prepare for the day. And my day ends at 4:30, but I'm not one of the teachers. You're not leaving at 4:29, which is what most people think. You may need to reflect on exit tickets, think about what worked, what didn't, make those adjustments to the next day's lesson. You might even put the objective for the next day. You might spend another at least 15 to 30 minutes, and it's not as though you're not taking work home. So I would say that is far from just collecting a check because we do not have a 9 to 5 job.
No, it's around the clock. I mean, you're there at 7:30. Yes. I'm contractually obligated to be at my job from 7:15 to 5 p.m. A lot of times I find myself there at 6 a.m. to make sure that my day is prepared, make sure there's any extra things I need to do or change, or maybe meet up with a parent about something that happened the day before. I'm taking a lot of work home at the end of the day, grading exit tickets, grading papers, grading new unit tests, whatever it is. Maybe I'm redoing my lesson plan. Maybe the lesson didn't go as well or not how I planned, or kids didn't understand all the things I wanted them to. So now I'm making more small groups for tomorrow because, as we know in education, data-driven instruction is key. Yes. Small group instruction is key.
And that's because we actually do care and that we're not lazy. And we don't hate our job.
And we want kids to learn. That's what we're here. We want kids.
Yes.
And we want to give them opportunities to grow and be what they want in life.
And if anything, we should be making more money. But I guess we'll save that for another video.
Say that one more time for the people in the back.
Hello.
Bring them coins. Trump, Obama, whoever.
Just saying.
Come on now.
Just saying. So that is our first myth. So now we will talk about myth number 2.
Okay, myth number 2. So most urban school teachers are underqualified.
And that's why we don't work in private school, correct?
That's why we don't work in private school, because we haven't done the work. We don't have the certifications. We haven't gone to school. I think to be an elementary school teacher, you only need a GED, because what do those kids learn?
Clearly.
1 by 1, 2, 2 plus 2.
Because it's not like they're there to learn anyway. We're babysitters.
No, that's right. It's a joke.
So, I mean, it's not like we have the education. So what other options do we have but to teach?
Right. This is an easy out. That way you don't have to go to school. You don't have to get a master's. After you get out of high school, why don't you go get a teaching job?
Hey, those who can do or can't do, teach.
But aren't we the ones teaching people to do things? Okay. That's another video for another day.
Yes, indeed.
So let's debunk this myth that urban teachers are unqualified. That's not true.
No.
Myself, for example, I had to do a teaching program. I had to go get a master's degree. I spent a lot of money, a lot of school loan money in getting my certifications and getting everything in order so I am able to be a highly qualified teacher in my school system.
And then even to add on to that, as you're talking, I'm thinking about the fact that it is no secret that many of our urban schools in the inner cities don't necessarily have the same resources as private schools, and yet teachers still make it work. Like, we are the type that will take lemons and make lemonade. So clearly we're not underqualified. We might be overqualified because there's so many other things that go into teaching that you're not just coming in and being a teacher. Sometimes you're a social worker, sometimes you're a mom, because many of our students come in with trauma. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't even get to the teaching yet because there's so many other things that have to be done.
It's like peeling an onion. There's so many layers. So you're a social worker, you're a mom, you're a sister, you're a friend, mm-hmm. you're a buddy to help them learn social skills. There's a lot of things that go on into making a kid be successful in schools, and you can't do that work if you're not qualified. So like I said, we have put on many hats. We're overqualified a lot of times.
I agree.
And on top of the background and education that we have to have, and degrees and certifications, we also do crazy amounts of PD. I don't know about you, but I have meetings maybe 3-4 times a week talking about the next step, or a CGI problem, or how to redo these number stories, mm-hmm. or Eureka Math or whatnot. People coming in from other networks, different education providers coming in and giving us PDs and training, so we have the most up-to-date information on how to best serve children. Exactly. Because these kids need the most support.
Exactly. So
ain't nobody underqualified over here.
Again, say that for the people in the back. Yes, indeed. So now we are up to myth number 3.
Okay, urban teacher myth number 3. You don't know anything about your students.
What do you mean?
You don't know where they're coming from. You don't know where they've been, what they need. You don't know about their families. You make assumptions. You think all these kids,
because they're so different from me. Because clearly I didn't grow up that way, so I can't really relate.
And you know what? You don't even care.
No, I'm definitely not trying to. Because whatever, I don't know about all that. That is too much.
You don't want to get too involved.
Because again, I'm just there to collect the check.
That's right. So why would you care? Why would you want to get to know anybody? Why would you visit people at their house? Why would you reach out at nighttime? You don't want to do any of that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Matter of fact, you don't care about this culture.
I'm just here to babysit anyway.
You're here to collect your check. You don't want to help the masses. You don't care about the community. You're just another outsider coming in trying to tell everybody else what to do.
Wrong.
That couldn't be further from the truth. I mean, if I could share you the profiles of every teacher I ever worked with, I've never met more caring individuals. I mean, to be a successful urban educator, you really have to be real intertwined with the community, with the culture, really know your kids, know the families. Every school I've ever worked at has mandatory home visits, so I'm making sure that I meet every family and everybody in their natural setting before school starts. So they get to know me. I can see how they're living, what they're doing. This is not a wellness check. I'm not calling CPS. I'm not calling welfare. I'm just want to know who you are, what you guys do, what you're into, what do you like doing, what kind of food you eat, getting to know about your family dynamics, so I can best assist your child when they get to my classroom.
Yes, and continuing to build those trusting relationships, because children are not going to come into you just automatically assuming the best intentions. So it's like, look, I'm reaching out, parents understand, and we understand that within that, we're trying to build the whole child. So it's not just about academics. Like, you have to talk about their emotional well-being, their social. Are kids even coming to school and eating, but then you expect them to do amazing on these lovely high stakes testing? Like, it's just not feasible. Like, you got to be realistic. So that would be further from the truth.
That's right.
We actually care. Like, their well-being is so important.
It's like having a, I have a daughter. I look at all my kids and I tell them, like, you're my other children, right? I care about how you get to school. I can't tell you the number of times I've picked up kids on my way to school to make sure that they get to school on time, or they get to school because maybe they live too far, maybe it's too cold outside. I know tons of people who do things like that, who check up on people. You're absent a couple of days. Hey, I'm calling in just to make sure.
Going above and beyond.
You don't need anything. That's exactly right. So that couldn't be further from the truth. Anytime I hear stuff like that, I also take a lot of offense. I think about all the hours people put in and how close and attached people to all these kids. I have kids who I haven't taught in 4 or 5 years that still call me, still have my cell phone to tell me about how they are, how they did on a test. We are really building lifelong partnerships with families, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
So now, are we ready for myth number 4?
Oh, this is getting good.
All right, here we go.
Urban teacher myth number 4. So I'm really just trying to do my little certification program. I'm trying to do a quick 2 years in the trenches and get up out of here to what I really want to do.
Oh, so you just in one of those little programs. You went, got a bachelor's degree,
that TFA, that TTR,
a dancer, and now you like, you know what? I can't find a job. So how about I just become a teacher, do that little program, do whatever time they say is required, and then I'm out.
Get up out of here. Maybe go into education policy, put on my Giuseppe's, walk up to the hill, maybe work for Betsy DeVos.
Hey, because clearly she knows what she's talking about.
Wrong.
Shade.
That couldn't be further from the truth, guys.
Yes, I personally actually went to school to be a teacher. I did not go into a program, and I have been teaching for 13 years. And there are many teachers very similar who have been in the classroom, have double digits are in there, and they do it because they care. It's not because they're there, oh, now I just want to go into leadership. Like, they actually have the time, they have put in the time. They're not just Google certified, like, oh, did that, now I'm in the class, now I know everything.
As opposed to Fuller did her time in the classroom, has been working there without going to a teaching program. I actually did a teaching program. I did a teaching program because I really wanted to get into education. Didn't know how to put my foot in the door, just applying through public schools and whatnot. So I did a teaching program so I can be with a bunch of people, a team of people who are going through the same things that I'm going through, getting coached, getting live coaching in the classrooms, and really getting my feet wet, but with those supports in place.
And you've been there more than 2 years.
And I've been here now 6 years. So
just saying. Just saying.
That's another urban myth that we just debunked. Teachers are in it for the long haul. No one gets into teaching because it's a whim or they're trying to open the door to something else. Like, this is the door. Like, there's no more. There's not a better job or a more gratifying job or a job where you reach the most amount of people than teaching.
I agree. And now for our final 5th myth. All right, so our 5th myth that we are debunking. You know what? Why you always complaining? I am so mad that you stay complaining. You have it mad easy. You get 3 full months of vacation. Plus you got winter break. Plus you got
Easter,
spring break. Like, stop it. Like, you
Christmas.
Stay complaining.
You got a whole week for Thanksgiving.
It's hella easy.
You don't take a week to eat a turkey.
Like, stop. Y'all get on my nerves. Oh, teachers.
Right. You out of 3. You come in at 8. They're not even your kids.
Duh. Like, stop it. Like, I'm tired of you complaining. I don't even want to hear it no more.
You don't do any more work. You show up. You say a little thing. You show them how to add. You put little numbers up. You're good.
I would just like to go on record as saying, I earned my vacation. I don't know about you, but I earned my vacation. And one, I don't get 3 full months. No, let's be clear. It's like mid to late June. I got to come back in August because I got hella professional development. No, that is so not true.
Also, it's not an easy life. I haven't done the math, and I don't, actually I'm scared to.
Don't do it.
Because the moment I start calculating all the hours that I put into my job, on the building and outside the building, I'm pretty sure I'm making less than minimum wage.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to think about it. I might not get up on Monday.
Now I got a headache.
But that's completely false. It's not an easy life at all. Yes, we do get vacation times that are out of, you know, the scope of normal vacations. Like most corporate jobs, you might only have to be putting in 2 weeks, even a month, or you have to accumulate time. Yes, teachers get a certain amount of vacation sprinkled throughout the year, but trust me, that time is necessary to recharge. When you're in front of 30 kids day in and day out,
yes indeed,
talking, checking up on them, checking up after school, before school, it's very taxing. I'm not complaining. I enjoy my job. I love my work, but if I didn't have those pockets of time to recharge mentally, I wouldn't be able to keep this up. You have
to be able to take care of yourself. We cannot continue to give and then we're not taking care of ourselves. You can't, you can't fill an empty bucket, or empty bucket can't fill something like that to go. But
the point is, you gotta be right.
You have to, so that you can be able to be your best self in front of these students. So please, it's not easy. Don't ever, get that language out of your thinking. It's just not.
Teaching is one of the hardest professions, and it's so sad because it's one of the most disrespected professions.
You can tell that by the pay. But again, we're not going back there. But it is the most rewarding.
It is.
Like, that's facts.
That's right. So it's not an easy life. It's an enjoyable life. And if you're in it, you really have to care about what you're doing because it's the only way you're going to make it through.
Day in and day out. That's your motivation every time you wake up.
That's right, guys. So thank you for watching. I hope that we debunked enough for you these 5 urban teacher myths. If you have any that we did not mention, please comment down below because we'd be more than happy to fill your teacup and give you the real story behind some of these myths.
Because our goal is for us to start feeling validated. Like, our feelings do count, and we should not just have to continue to hear people just say these incorrect things. Like, they're just not true.
And they undercut all the work that awesome educators are doing in every community near you. So please, if you see a teacher, give them a hug, give them a high five, give them a Starbucks card.
Hey.
I mean, whatever inspires you to do. But definitely thank these people because these people are working really hard for our kids and the future leaders of the world.
So thank you for watching.
Please subscribe below.
Yes, like, share,
repost.
And until next time.
Peace out.